Sometimes we have to acknowledge that even in the midst of noise around us, we have to find quiet from the inside out.
They say be who you are, there's no such thing as normal.
Hey friends, I'm Jamie Grace, and I wanted to make this video to share with you guys 5 questions that I ask myself when I'm dealing with anxiety. Also, this will feature my sweet daughter Isabella in the background and her karaoke machine. She also has a drum set. So I recently released a book called Finding Quiet, and while I do talk about the literal steps of finding quiet in your everyday life, I find it really interesting that a lot of people think that the only way to find quiet is by actually shutting out the noise around you. And I actually love that I just happened to be making this video while Bella is doing her Sheila E. impersonation, because that is not the only way to find quiet. Sometimes we have to acknowledge that even in the midst of noise around us, we have to find quiet from the inside out. And we have to ask God to be like, look, how can you work on me? Because I can't always turn off the noise around me. Let's put your bow back on. There we go. In case you haven't heard, there's something called an election, and I really hope that you actually have heard about that, but we're not going to talk about that. Any comments about it, I'm probably going to delete it because that's not what this video is about. But we can't be like, I choose there not to be an election. Like, your bow came off again. We can't always turn off the noise around us. I mean, yes, we can turn off the television, we can try to ignore things, but we can't just turn off the world. It's still happening around us. So these are 5 questions that I ask myself on a daily basis to prevent my anxiety from going to a place that I could have personally prevented. The first question is, do I need to go to the bathroom? Now, I know that might seem like, why in the world would you ask yourself that question? But for me personally, if I have to pee and I am not thinking about that, I can get stressed out unnecessarily by other stuff. I can find myself getting annoyed, getting overwhelmed, when honestly, if I were to just like take a however long it takes break, if I were to just take that little break that it takes to go and pee and then wash your hands for an adequate amount of time, sometimes that really does help me feel a lot better. If that doesn't help you, that's totally okay. Oh, it might also help to do a little bit more in the bathroom, if you know what I'm saying, because sometimes that's the reason why you might be stressed out. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to question number 2. The second question that I ask myself is, am I hungry? Sometimes I find myself being really stressed out when honestly, if I just go eat a snack, I love me some cashews, I love some cheese, I love some kale chips. Sometimes I randomly just go get me like a roll or a piece of bread. It might not seem like a big deal, but that stuff is a big deal, because sometimes we're hungry and we think like, oh my goodness, my friendship is falling apart, my kids driving me crazy, not you, bug. All this stuff, when in actuality, it's like, wait. When's the last time I had a grilled cheese? So the next one is, am I tired? Yesterday, the 2 of us, and my husband, Aaron, we had a pretty long day, and I needed to go get some work done right after I'd already gotten some work done. And I just said to my husband, I was like, hey, can you just wake me up in 10 minutes? And I used to think that 10-minute power naps were nothing, because it's like, look, don't waste my time. I need 14 hours or nothing. But I laid down for 10 minutes. I didn't fall asleep till like that last 3 seconds. Y'all, it blessed my spirit. That few minutes of rest, of sleep, I was recharged, I was rejuvenated, and it wasn't like this level of perfection where I just got up and I was like, yes, I can face the world because I am everything. It didn't feel like that, but it did feel like a moment to breathe, a moment of quiet, and it was very beneficial. So number 4 is, am I thirsty? Not that kind of thirsty, but I mean, it's worth evaluating if you are feeling some type of way. Anyways, we're talking about water here. So I recently got this half-gallon water bottle, and yes, it is covered with the Finding Quiet sticker bundle, which you can get at my website, inspired by my book Finding Quiet and my new EP Normal. Both of those things are all about mental health and self-care, and just taking care of yourself. Anyways, we are recent residents of the state of Arizona, so water is way more important than it ever was in our lives. And Bella runs around asking for Wawa all the time. Aaron and I each have one. We try to fill it up at least twice a day. But personally, like I said, this is personal stuff that I do. Sometimes I find myself getting stressed out, or I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel nauseous. I think this is the end. Thank you, Lord, for 28 years. I'm about to go out. And then I'm like, wait, as I had no water in a little while. So water is very significant. I get it. Juice, soda, it's a vibe, but like water is essential. And yay! And last but not least, I would say, have you been outside recently, or have you seen the outside recently? One of my favorite pieces of advice when Isabella was first born was anytime a baby feels overwhelmed, put them in water or take them outside. Yay! Good job, sweet girl. She's playing Connect 4. She's probably winning. So we'll give her a bath sometimes if she's feeling overwhelmed, or we'll just like take her out on the front porch and just let her look at the neighbors, like look at the rocks outside. She gets so excited. And humans, adult humans, we are the same way. I try to make it a point, even though this lighting is affecting my video a little bit, influencer, I try to make it a point to sit by windows very often, whether I'm actually stepping outside or whether I'm just looking at the outside. I believe in God. I believe that He made the sun and a bunch of other stuff out there, and it's quite like beautiful and exceptional to sit in His glory and to see what He made and just to soak it in. So go outside or look at the outside or pull up a YouTube video of the outside, because trust me, it is worth it when you ask that question, can I come into the out now? And the answer is yes. Please comment below if you know where that's from. Y'all, there are so many more questions that you can ask yourself when it comes to finding quiet from the inside out, taking care of yourself and not negating the actual challenges and adversity of the world and of your life and maybe even of your home, but just making a choice to not add any unnecessary noise into your everyday life. I have noticed in my growth, in my young adulthood, in my adulthood, I need to redo this twist. I have noticed that when my daughter is making a lot of noise, when my husband is watching a football game, when the world is stressing me out, when my neighbors are a little louder than I might anticipate, I've noticed that I can get really worked up or really overwhelmed with a lot of sound. Sometimes that does... Be careful, baby. That cord is not, it doesn't go on forever. Be careful. Sometimes that does mean telling my daughter, hey, we're not doing the karaoke machine right now. Sometimes it's asking my husband, hey, handsome man that I married, could you please press mute because your wife can't handle that right now. Whatever, like sometimes it does mean that. But sometimes it means, for me, you want to wear your slipper, okay. But sometimes that means, for me, hey, I need to go and lay down. I need to drink some water. I need a snack. I need to go for a walk. I need to take care of myself from the inside out. Self-care is not about selfishness. Self-care is about taking care of the person that God made us to be so that we can love that person first and foremost, but also love the other people around us quite well. So comment below if you have any other questions that you ask yourself on a daily basis when it comes to your anxiety and your overall emotional and mental health and wellness. I would love to know, and be sure to check out my brand new book, Finding Quiet, and also my brand new EP, Normal, streaming on November 6th. This is one of the merch pieces. It says no such thing as normal. It's inspired by the EP Normal. So thank you guys so much for the love and support. Click on the screen to subscribe. I love you so much. I'll see you soon. I miss you already. What's up, friends? Jamie Grace here. And before I let you go, I'm going to reintroduce myself really quick as the author of Finding Quiet, as well as the host of the Jamie Grace podcast. If you know anything about the show, then you know that I talk a lot about mental health and emotional wellness. And I talk about these two things because I have seen a lot of growth in my own personal self, especially over the last 10 years. And I can honestly say that I would not be where I am today if it had not been for my faith, my family, and for counseling. One of the sponsors of the Jamie Grace podcast is Faithful Counseling, and I want to tell you guys about them because I personally use them right now. I started this year, and I love it. I love that my counselor is a licensed therapist, but can also implement elements of my faith into the conversation as well. I love that I can have video chats, but if I'm just not feeling it that week, or if I miss it because of scheduling, I can do text or I can do a phone call if needed. Whether you're dealing with an anxiety diagnosis like me, or you're dealing with the everyday struggles of life like me, and you're looking for someone to talk to like I often am, then you guys might find Faithful Counseling to be very beneficial. I'm a pastor's kid, And so I've had the incredible privilege to see incredible things happen when people have been able to have conversations with pastors or youth group leaders. And I think that it's a very beneficial thing. There's also a time and a place for a licensed therapist. And the coolest thing about Faithful Counseling is that if you would like Faith to be a part of the conversation, you can have that part of the conversation. And it's not awkward, it's normal and natural and beautiful, and can really be encouraging and a great support system for you. So head on over to faithfulcounseling.com/Jamie Grace for a discount on your first month. I really hope that if it's something that you guys need, you're able to check it out and that you really enjoy it.